grass is always green, the lights are squeaky clean. I am the new model, I am the new model. The new model. The new model.
You're very welcome to Miss Bikini Ireland, and we're coming to you tonight from the centre of Ireland, where I'm flying solo this week as Cormac is away on leave. However, the show must go on as we send some of the team down to the judges' hometowns, as we find out what they think of the contestants.
I do have three favourites at the moment that I think are pretty strong. Rebecca, Anna, and Hannah. I also like Leanne, I like Misha.
And we'll be there for their final photo shoot.
We are going out onto the street to take photos and taking off our tops. Some of us are taking off our tops. For breast cancer awareness.
All this and more on this week's Miss Bikini Ireland. I'm on the way to the world's oldest pub to meet one of the judges to find out what she thought of the contestants. Una, so as a judge on our show this year, what do you expect from the girls?
Okay, the standard this year was extremely high. The girls were very well groomed. From their hair, their tan, their nails, makeup, everything was exceptional. Obviously they all looked beautiful and they had fantastic figures, which for me as a tanning brand is important, so it is.
So Una, as you've got to know some of the girls over the past few weeks, do you have any favourites at all?
That's not a nice thing to ask one of the judges, so it isn't. But yes, actually I do have two in mind, so I do. Rebecca, who has fantastic look about her, so she has, and would really be a good representative for my brand. And Anna as well is stunning looking girl and really again would be a fantastic representative for the tanning brand.
And if Anna or Rebecca were to win this year's Miss Bikini Ireland, like you say, they're obviously going to represent your brand.
They are.
And what kind of work is cut out for them over the next year?
Okay, so what they will do is we'll do a photo shoot for them, so we will. Then their face and body will be all over Ireland in pharmacies and department stores nationwide, both north and south of Ireland. And they will also do campaigns for us. So there is a National Sunless Tanning Day coming up, which we would like them to represent our brand. And it's important in this day and age to have safe tanning. Too many people are going out and getting burnt, and as a result it causes melanoma or carcinoma. And in this day and age, it really isn't right that people should be going out and getting burnt. There's plenty of tans out there that they can have a nice colour, and they also should be putting sun protection on themselves when they go out into the sun.
And what advice would you give to the girls in this year's series?
The advice I would give them really is to enjoy the competition. They really should have a great time. They will make the best of friends, both in Ireland at the contest, and of course if they go on and win at Miss Swimsuit USA, they will make fantastic friends. And really it's just to really enjoy every moment of the competition.
Una, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Well, it's time now. I left the world's oldest pub to travel across Ireland to meet one of our judges, Martin Byrne, to find out what some of his highlights are of the series so far.
I think some of the highlights for me were Misha. I feel famous, I really do, I really feel famous. I love that, you know. I love the innocence of it. I love how she sees the potential in it, you know, and nobody should really kind of dish that as something that, you know, she wants to be famous, because let's face it, they all do. That's why they're in the show. They want to be recognised, they want to be famous, and they've come to the right place to do that. But it's having the right mentality and management. You know, a good celebrity, they shouldn't require too much management, because to be able to manage yourself is probably half of the battle. So yeah, it's all going to be decided on the night, shoulder to shoulder rubbing, but I do have three favourites at the moment that I think are pretty strong. Rebecca, Anna, and Hannah. I also like Leanne, I like Misha, but I most like their personalities. If I could take personalities of Misha or Leanne's kind of got a little glow about her. If I could take the personality of Leanne or Misha and put them on the body of Anna with you know, with the head of Rebecca, you know, it's a pick and mix, you know. If you could get a pick and mix, we would have #1 contender, you know. I think Rebecca is quite strong, but she lacks in departments of social scenes, you know. I think her communication skills could be a little bit stronger, where Misha and Leanne, for example, would have stronger communication skills. Anna's body is to die for. She's absolutely got the perfect body and the height, and then Rebecca's got the right look, you know. So and she represents herself really, really well, and she would never kind of put herself in an awkward position. So I think all of those together collectively, we've got somebody. Can we start doing surgery on them? No, definitely not. We're completely against it. But I definitely think that between them all, we've got a winner. But whoever comes out on top is really, really down to them on the night. This year has been very, very exciting for me because I've seen the show really bloom. The progression of the show this year has really outdone everything that I've ever done in any of the pageants I've ever worked in. I'm really, really excited. This is my favourite show to ever judge. The banter between the judges is good. Don't get me wrong, we all have our favourites and there's conflict there. But, you know, myself and Judy, we get on really, really well. Myself and Judy, how would I describe it? We've got a great working relationship, but we're two different people as well. We've got our own personalities and our own input, and we're quite, you know, we're quite intent about how we perceive that to be put into the winner. You know, Judy's been a winner, so for her, she's very emotionally attached to what drives them. You know, she knows the work that goes in after the winner's selected, whereas I haven't seen it firsthand. You know, she'd have more experience in that line. For me, I think I'm more about the marketing, about making sure that the winner looks good as well as talks good and acts good, and they represent themselves well. You know, if you get somebody that says one wrong thing in an interview, they've let the whole side down. You know, negativity always goes further than positivity. So in any situation, you know, somebody would always want you to make mistakes so that they can highlight that, because it's the mistakes that celebrities make that make the newspapers. It's not the 20 grand that they donate to charity, it's the 20 grand that they forgot to mention in their bank accounts that make the newspapers. So knowing this going forward, the winner needs to be able to deal with these sort of awkward situations and turn negatives into positives. So Greg is, you know, this I've been kind of ripping into him lately. He's changed his look. I think he's trying to look more like me. I think he's trying to he's trying to take more care of his appearance as well, though. But he's doing really good. The banter is absolutely brilliant. He's great to work with, and I think he's very clued in. You know, he knows what he wants, and he won't settle for second best. You know, he's somebody that's very passionate and self-driven. You know, if somebody was to do a negative spin on Greg, he would highlight that and say, well, thank you for that, because you've just put me in every newspaper in the country. So he's always able to turn negatives into positives, and I really like that. So that kind of proves to me that I'm working on the right show and that the right person is running it.
We leave Martin as he heads off to a meeting or finds a place to park. In the meantime, one of the other judges has a very different idea about what to do with her downtime. We travel to the west of Ireland to meet Judy Fitzgerald.
Just a week to go now to the finals. So to all the contestants, I just want to give you a bit of advice. Get plenty of rest, at least 8 hours sleep, plenty of fluids, eat healthy, keep up your gym training. And I know after all the training you're going to be very tired. your muscles will be aching, so I would advise you all to go to your local spa, get a beauty treatment or maybe a nice relaxing massage. I know today now I'm going to get a massage because it's been such a hectic week. We're facing into another hectic week and I just want the time to just relax and unwind. So I'm nice and calm finals night, and just to soothe my aching muscles after all the training I've been doing. So now I'm going to go and get my lovely massage. Can't wait.
Hello, how are you? How are you keeping? Now I'll just give you the base. Watch yourself there. Yeah, just lay down there for me. Yeah, are you comfortable there? Yeah. Now I'm just going to start off with an Indian head massage. Massaging the top of her back and shoulders. Just going to massage the island to my hands there.
Well, that's all we've time for in this part of the show, but stay with us as we meet up with some of the judges and we see the girls on their final photo shoot.
I am the new model. I am the new model. The best you've ever seen. The fastest, sleekest, chicest.
Finally, a quick word from Judy, who, because it's Ireland, is having a nice cup of tea.
Just after having my massage, I feel so relaxed, so rejuvenated, and I can't wait to meet all the girls at the finals of Miss Bikini Ireland.
All this and more on Model Search, Miss Bikini Ireland.
The new model.
You're very welcome back to Miss Bikini Ireland as we begin our countdown to the finals. So we've taken a break from the studio as we travel across Ireland to meet with some of the judges on their home turf. So without any further ado, we're going to go back to the west of Ireland to meet one of our judges, Greg Ryan.
So the finals are next week for Miss Bikini Ireland. Things have gone fantastically well. Contestants have been amazing. We've seen some fantastic girls. A lot who have it, a lot that need a lot more to give, but it's been a very tough competition. I'm very happy with where we are right now, and it's going to be very tough in who we're going to select and who we're going to pick to represent Ireland in the finals. But I'm sure we'll pick the right girl, and the judges in this year's competition have great knowledge. Not only that, but they can see talent, and that's what I'm trusting with their knowledge and their background, that they can pick us a phenomenal winner this year. So my thoughts on the contestants for Miss Bikini Ireland this year varies. I suppose it goes on the back of dedication, determination, punctuality, a big one. You know, we've had girls come from Belfast, Limerick, Galway, Cork, and they would be on time. Funny enough, we filmed in Dublin, and some of the girls from Dublin didn't turn up on time. So that kind of tells me who I can depend on when it comes to picking a winner, because you got to remember, not only are we picking a winner to represent Ireland, but we're picking a winner that we can work with for 12 months to represent not just themselves, but the Miss Bikini Ireland brand. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that type of person who's very active on social media, who, you know, just wants to get as much out of this as possible, and that's the people that succeed in this. That's the people that get as much out of this. If you look at our previous winners, they've all done fantastically well, but that's down to their dedication, their hard work, and working not just because obviously with the organisation we put in as much graft as we can, but the contestants got to put the rest in. So it's going to be a tough call, but my thoughts on contestants, it's still very early stages. So we're finally here to the end of the journey of Miss Bikini Ireland Model Search TV show, and what a journey it has been. We've seen thousands of girls apply for this competition, with only breaking it down to 30 girls. The 30 girls that we worked with, we've seen them from no experience right up to being ready for the experience of taking part in the finals and being with the chance of representing Ireland at Swimsuit USA International. Thoughts on the judges? We brought in people who's experienced in their fields, and we trust their judgment that they will pick the right winner in regards to person that we pick has to be hardworking, has to be very active on social media, but not only that, who really wants this. And I'm sure that we will find that girl at the finals. So I suppose from here on in, it's bring on the finals.
So I'm back on the road on the way to meet fashion designer and Miss Bikini Ireland judge Dominika Kowalska. I'm looking for her take on the contestants. Dominika, nice to meet you. How are you getting on? It's a lovely day.
Yeah.
I'm here at Loch Oul on this glorious day and I'm delighted to be joined by Dominika from DK House of Fashion. Dominika, first of all, I have to ask you, what are your highlights of the series so far?
Well, the highlights of this year's competition, I think it's everything together. The standard of the girls and how it's organised this year. It's a lot better from last year and 2 years ago. But it's a new competition, so obviously we're growing together. The highlight, I think, obviously, it's the fact that the TV is interested in the competition, which then brings up the standard of it and gives more opportunity for the girls and for us judges to have a look how they react in front of the camera, not only in front of the photo shoot, but also how they interview and how they talk to people in front of the camera, which is very important.
And do you think that the girls are reacting well to having a video camera this year, or do you think they're becoming more enclosed in themselves?
Probably some of them obviously maybe too shy for it. Well, then maybe they're not ready for the competition yet, which, as I said, it's better for us judges to have a look and see which girl is appropriate to win the title of Miss Bikini Ireland. Some of the girls are taking it even better and you can see they're glowing in front of the camera. So it's great to have a look at the differences in between the girls.
So you're saying that it gives some girls confidence for having the video camera there?
Yeah, I think so. I think some of the girls I can see that some of the girls feel like they're born to do this. You know, modelling job is a very hard working job. It's not only about photo shoot and looking good in front of the camera on the picture, but also about meeting people, networking and being interviewed and representing Ireland. And Miss Bikini Ireland will have a lot of interviews in front of the camera, so it's a great way of training for the girls. But I've seen some of the girls are natural and they enjoy doing it.
Most definitely. And then you also brought the girls to your very own studio to teach them a few lessons on the catwalk. How did you find the girls that day?
I brought all the girls before the finals to do some training with the catwalk, which I think is very important to show the girls how to present themselves and how to walk on the catwalk and pose and show themselves in front of the judges panel. And what we've done in the training, we were doing a bit of catwalk and then doing some poses individually and in group, which was great for the girls to get feedback from me and you know, for them to know what to do on the day, so they're not going to be as shy maybe.
That's obviously vital for you being a fashion designer. You know, obviously one of these girls are going to be representing your brand. Yes. They're going to be wearing your dresses. So how would you feel about the contestants so far if you had to pick one of those girls to be wearing your dresses? Do you feel confident in that?
Yeah, I think the fact that they could have the training was really helpful for me to have a look and pick my favorites out of all the girls, because it was really hard, you know, to choose from just a judges panel just to interviewing and giving a question and just a quick answer from them. And as a fashion designer, it's really important for me to pick the girl that represents it well and walks well, because on the finals in Mexico, she will be wearing one of my bespoke handmade dress, so I need to know which one is capable of representing it really well. So the training really helped me to have a look and pick my favorites out of it.
Dominika, I'm sure you would agree when I say a lot of the girls had very striking looks. Who was your favourite?
Well, I can't really say who were my favourites, but there were a few girls that stood out, especially at the catwalk lessons. I really loved Jennifer. She has a very great style and is really natural when she was walking. During the training, what I did first was I wanted to have a look at the girls individually. So I told them to walk by themselves back and forth so I could pick out the things that they might be working on in the future. And definitely Jennifer was a very good listener, and everything I told her she was picking up and trying it better, and I could see that she's a really hard-working girl. And her style and her looks are very different. And I love her hair, and I love the whole, the whole look of her. And then there was Hannah as well. I can see she's really passionate and she's really drive. She's driven by the modeling career, and when I was giving her advice on what to do, she didn't just stood there and she didn't, was grumpy that I'm giving an advice. She was actually taking advice and working hard for it. So these are two girls that definitely stood out on the day.
The judges have taken a break and it's time for the girls' rest week. But before we do that, let's join them for their final photo shoot.
We are going out onto the street to take photos and taking off our tops. Some of us are taking off our tops for breast cancer awareness.
So with that, the girls braved the streets of Dublin. They literally brought traffic to a halt. Well, not quite all traffic, as trams will not stop for anything. Not even me. So while the photographers kept an eye on the trams, the contestants got ready to brave the elements. And there's that tram again. A special mention goes to Anna. I'll be talking about her in just a moment. So you might wonder how the girls felt when they wore very little on a cold, overcast morning in Dublin. Well, Hannah and Aideen had this to say.
Empowering, it was for breast cancer. I thought it was absolutely great. It was great to go out and show a bit of support for it, especially with a bikini competition. Great platform for it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was good to get out and show a bit of nip. But yeah, it was really empowering. So it's all for breast cancer, all for a good cause.
Now, remember I said I'd be speaking about Anna. Remember her? Well, one of the images taken that day went viral and was commented on worldwide. It was probably a combination of Anna being topless, that tram, and a distracted cyclist taking a tumble that added to the appeal. Well, the wait is almost over and the finals are almost upon us. So stay with us for next week's show as we go behind the scenes of the finals.
I feel okay, calm. Probably I'll get nervous when you come to the final, like when the judges will be there, but now I'm kind of okay, yes.
We'll also see the girls parade in their bikinis for the last time.
I'm Leanne, I'm 19, I'm from Tullamore, County Offaly. I'm a beauty and hair student and I'm a very ambitious person and I'm very girly.
Well, that's about all we have time for on tonight's show, but join us next week for the grand finals of Miss Bikini Ireland. All this and more on the next Model Search, Miss Bikini Ireland.
The new model.